Good morning, Steve Freed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. We have grains higher overnight. I think we're putting back a little bit more of that war premium. Ukraine's situation, the war continues, and some of the cities of Ukraine are being hit pretty hard with explosions, and so we'll add a little premium back to that. You've got crude oil higher and testing 108 again, and we've got beans up 19 cents, 1687. People think we're in the 1650 to 1725 range. Corn's up 10 cents at 751. Could be a 720, 775, 780 type range. Wheat's up 17 at 1081, and 1050 was pretty important support, just like $11 to 1150 is pretty key resistance. It's interesting that the USDA right now is forecasting corn, soybean, sorghum, and wheat exports at 5,700 versus previous year's record of 6,300. We have some people, though, that feel that the final exports could be closer maybe to 6,100. Looking ahead at 2022-23, USDA has exports right now somewhere around the private people have it around 6,500, which would be a new record. For the September-November time frame, we're looking at last year at 2.2. This year could be closer to 3 billion bushels. So what that does, especially in the corn, it supports the basis, it supports spreads, and it could push futures over that key resistance level. Many people doubt that we'll see crude making higher highs, or even the grains higher highs, unless this war continues. We also see people thinking that we're going to have trouble making higher highs, or at least testing the highs, going into the March 31st USDA report. Pretty critical report. We've got one group out there talking about corn acres down 1.5 million acres from last year at 91.9. Bean acres up 600,000 acres to 87.8, and wheat acres up 1.8 to 48.5. But it's interesting in that combined corn and bean acres only up 900,000 acres from last year. So some people think that those acres might even be higher than that. As far as outside markets, again, inflation, lower supply of fertilizer, metals, food, and energy could keep the Fed on watch. And we're watching the economy, especially Germany and China, which some people think are already in a recession. Again, the market has to try to figure out how to come up with 15 million tons of wheat out of the Black Sea that may not get shipped, and 15 million tons of corn, of which 6 million goes to China out of Ukraine that may not get shipped. And the longer this war goes, the reduced chance of Ukraine growing a 40 million ton corn crop. And so not only does the market have to figure out how to offset this year's exports, maybe next year's exports also. U.S. Southern Plains could see some rains over the next 10 to 15 days, and then it turns drier. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM.